say Mork and Mindy's the early 90s.
Good morning and welcome back to 221 Construction Channel. We've delved into a couple of things that we wanted to document as well as highlight and talk about this morning. One of the things that we do at 221 Construction is we own an insulation division that spray foams in 2-pound and half-pound spray foam insulation in a lot of the structures that we do. On a steel structure like the one we're at today, you've seen this job before. One of the things that they don't tell you about when you do this kind of work is what it's like if you have to remodel. So I want to show you in this corner over here one of the things that we've had to do because we're tearing off the front of this building and we're going to expand it. So this is what you have to deal with when you're doing remodeling and there's spray foam on the metal. This is ag metal. And it's on the outside, and you can see here they sprayed like 4 or 5 inches of spray foam in here. Really great application. But when you go back in and you have to disconnect something or take something apart for a renovation project, as you can see by all the debris and by the wall, that sometimes it can be really tough getting into the utility or into a cavity where you need to detach something, take bolts out, take out fasteners, to disassemble things. So this section of the building is about 30 by 50. We're going to take it off and it's actually going to become 100 by 30. So it's going to be a much bigger, much larger square footage. But to get there, we had to get this stuff off of the fasteners so that we could detach the building. Okay, I wanted to spin around here so that you could see the rest of this room, just so that you could see the insulation properties that have happened when they did the closed cell spray foam. So basically what they did is they just insulated all of the walls on this steel structure area so that they could control the building envelope from humidity and temperature, obviously.
When talking about the building's envelope, that refers to everything that wraps around the building to protect it from outside. The envelope includes the walls, roof, windows, and doors of the building. It keeps the warm air inside during winter and cool air inside during summer. It also stops rain, wind, and snow from getting inside.
So this is a really great application, and we do this all the time. We've also used this on barn dominiums, but as many of you know, as our viewers, if you're following our channel, you'll see what it is that we're doing now that's even better than this spray foam application especially for the wall assemblies. So let's go take a look at the ICF enclosure that the guys are building inside here. Come on. So you go from this insulated wall by spray foam that's extremely efficient, but this is even more efficient. And as everybody knows, because they've seen our videos, this wall assembly is the equivalent of an R50.
R50 is a way of saying how good this insulation is at keeping the building warm. The R stands for resistance, and the number 50 tells you how strong this resistance is. The higher the number, like 50, the better it is at keeping the building warm in the winter and cool in the summer.
You can see the progress that the guys are making in the wall assembly as they go up, adding more layers to what are going to be coolers, refrigeration units. And this is a kind of a special technology in that we haven't been able to find anybody that has used ICF construction for a meat packing plant or coolers where they have to do large areas to control the temperature or the thermal envelope where they're storing food products in particular. So we're really excited about this process. So let's take a look at the other sides of this thing so that you can get a feel for how big and how it goes together. Come on. One of the things that we get lots of questions about is how do you reinforce the corners, or how do you keep from having blowouts? And it's actually really simple. It's not difficult at all. We've explained before that there's vertical struts that go through the block. We line those up so that everything is in a straight line. But then we just come back and we take fasteners, we screw in to those corners so that we can just reinforce the corner with a little bit of extra beef so that when they go to pour the concrete, there's no chance of a blowout on the corner. And it works flawlessly. It works beautifully. Let's go take a look at some other stuff. So we've gone to the back corner from where we just were, and we have all of the reinforcement here. But take a look down this wall, and it'll really give you a feel for how long the wall is and how long you can run with ICF that has really no interference. There's really no problems with having really long wall assemblies, and this is a really good example of that. And we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows of block right now. We're going to pour this first section, and then we're going to come back and put the rest of the block on up to the 14-foot mark, and then we're going to put a lid on it and spray foam it from the top so that you'll be able to have a completely thermally blocked envelope and control the temperature in there with very little interference. Okay, we're up on top of the scaffold here so that I can show you just basically a view of what it's like to be up on this system that we use called the Zonts, Zats, and Zuckles. Kind of a funny set of terminology, but this bracing style allows us to go vertical through the block laying and the pours so that we can quickly assemble and disassemble, and we can reuse the bracing in order to go to the next level. You can put walk planks in on these lower pieces so that you can also have a place to walk when the concrete goes into the block cavity. They've got something stable for themselves to walk on, which also produces a handrail on the back side because of the angle of the bracing itself. When the guys go to pour this, what it's like to stand on this and how stable it is, because they have bracing for not only for the walk plank, but also for a handrail, makes it really good for when they get up here to vibrate the concrete to make sure that it goes all the way down in the wall and that we get a solid pour through the entire system. So we'll show that when the guys go to pour it, but this is a really safe way to build and assemble getting up off of the ground, the wall assemblies, and it works flawlessly putting it all together, and it's very, very fast.
Going down, Kearney. And I caught it, saved it. Here. You want me? Worked out pretty well. What do it take? What you want?